What's good, everybody? This is Y and Z, a conversation between the generations. Generation Y, aka the millennials, represented by yours truly. I go by the name of Jay Clark. The other half of this equation represented Gen Z, my good brother Xavier D. Lewis. How are you this week, sir?
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Xavier D. Lewis. Of course, had to put on that, radio-esque voice here, big boy,
That's that
trying to
plantation
get in
voice
there
right
like
there.
that.
Yes, yes, a massa, sir. Yes, sir. I'll carry the bags to the room. Yes, a massa. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. Now, see, you got to if you really want that kind of action, right, you got to do it like that right here. Whatever you need, sir. Whatever you need, that sir. I'll do it for you. I'll go out there and put them tariffs on them people. I'll do it for you, sir.
That's that good Southern training you got as a Northern boy. Fuck off. I ain't doing that shit. Anywho, like, share,
You
subscribe.
know,
Yes, sir.
You know what it is funny though? How Southern accents are more akin to Old British,
Because
Old English.
yeah,
So interesting. So
y'all
interesting.
y'all just stuck. Anywho, before I don't know where we're gonna go today, but we're gonna start here because a couple days ago I was just scrolling my feed and I came across a post by a young brother that goes a little something like this. At church tonight, 11-year-old says to me, I thought you were 33. Saints, y'all not praying. And that post was made by one Gen Z member, Xavier D. Lewis. And I want to check in. Did you pick your jaw up off the floor? Because your generation is known for this real ageism. Because Gen X is like, hey, we just here, leave us alone. Millennials are like, hey, we're here, acknowledge us. Y'all are like, we're here and don't nobody know nothing, but we don't know nothing either because we don't know about the world before the internet. How does it feel to be called old?
So unfortunately, while this statement did shock me, it's not anything new per se. Because I'm very mature and everything like that. I surround myself with mature people. So by association, I just start naturally having them rub off on me.
Mm-hmm.
But in a world where most of the time I'll get I thought you were like 27, 28. I get kind of that. She says, I thought you was 33.
Out of the mouth of babes.
I said, huh? 30 what? I started talking to them about TikToks and it was like, you know what TikTok is?
You ain't got
I
no
said, what?
You ain't got no facial hair for 33. But how did it feel to have your existence questioned in your proximity to things in the world that are perceived to be cool and young? How did it feel?
It was, it felt horrible. It felt like something I did not want to feel until I crept over that 30 age period. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hurt?
I sympathize for you millionites that are currently going through that in your life right now, where people are like, 30s.
Currently, we went through it with y'all about a decade ago because y'all thought y'all was the ish and still on that Similac. Like y'all came out the womb talking about we're here and the world has not existed previously, and y'all just messing it up. Like, please, come on. Like, we passed that. We at that point where it's just like we don't. And the words of Bernie Mac, I don't give a fuck. That's what we at now. Is the millennials? Y'all just late to the party as that Gen Alpha comes up. They vicious. I'm raising one. They vicious,
Bruh. I'm gonna tell you, it's like Gen Alpha is. There's gonna be a very interesting generation. They're gonna be in an essence, they are gonna be a callback
because
to millennials when they were
duh,
children.
duh, duh.
They're gonna be a heavy callback to you all.
Especially because we know not to do after what we saw happen with y'all. Side note, speaking of that, sorry, you got to catch some flack. You and your generation here. Did you see that story about that girl who graduated? She's a freshman in college now, so she's smack dab Gen Z. She's one of yours. And she is suing her high school because she graduated with honors, but apparently can't read or write.
What? I did not see this, but I wish I would have. What? We need to name her Robert Kelly. Kelly said, I made you money. Hits. I was going to the studio and doing it in one take because I can't read or write.
Yeah, that's your generation. What? Gen Alpha gonna be all right because they being raised by who?
They're being raised by millennials.
Them early fast Gen Z members.
But let me say this. They are still going to be trouble in their teenage years because of the overwhelming amount of technology.
They're going to be the worst of y'all with the best of us.
It's going to be so interesting.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, that was well said. Because Generation Alpha, the worst of Gen Z, but the best of the millennials.
Because millennials will always tell you, like, we see y'all, and the stuff that was, especially like when I was in college and stuff, we're like, the stuff that was literally happening, the minutes and moments we're getting out of college that we wish we had the access to via social media really started to kick off. We're like, damn, Gen Z don't know what to do with this. We could hustle this and make it something, as a lot of us did throughout the time. But yeah, Gen Alpha is going to be interesting because they're going to have that digital nativeness that you guys have. But I think they're also going to have a little bit of that edge of that, not necessarily
almost definitely
purely relying on it, like the millennials had. They could be an interesting beast if done right, but hell, this world is going to hell in a handbasket, so they could just be like, F it anyways. Who knows?
It's going to be interesting, like you said. But okay, in that regard, though, Gen Z, who are we the worst and best of? That's a really good question.
Y'all prior to you, or y'all are the last of. It's interesting because we've all been new. Like these generations are a relatively new thing. So I think Gen Alpha is really the first one where we're like identifying, okay, here's a generation which
right
so well in their current development and seeing what happened with y'all. It was kind of like, well, we're realizing at the back half, okay, yeah, that's X and maybe some late boomer. Like we're on top of it now more than we've ever been. So who knows? Y'all are just y'all own beasts because the world changed so much. Y'all are just different, as we have shown and demonstrated and journeyed through this podcast all the damn time. Y'all are just different.
Amazing, for lack of better words, amazing,
amazingly different,
awesome,
awesomely difficult,
fantastically. It just gives such. It gives such, just a certain je ne sais quoi. If if I were to use those words,
je ne sais quoi about Gen Z. Oh, you think you're cute? No, sir.
We're just sort of like, the creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying?
Anywho,
just rolls off the tongue.
Anywho, because we're just popping off with some random stuff today. Cory Booker.
Man. That light-skinned brother out here standing up for Americans. I want no more light-skin slander. No more. I don't see no chocolate brothers standing up there. I'm sorry. I did not mean to make that a colorist take.
It's all good.
But every time I see Cory Booker, I'm like, that's a light skin.
Light skinned and proud. I have some questions.
Interesting. I did want to actually bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot about it that fast. But
I'm just thinking about if it was me, right? If it was me and I had my moment, I'm going for 25 hours.
Bruh.
What we're gonna do when I gotta go, and y'all know what I mean when I gotta go. Because let's be honest, I'll be hour 14. Yeah, it's gonna hit. What are we doing? Because I'm gonna need a good couple minutes off the floor, if you know what I mean. So what's the strategy here? Like 25 out, like damn, because there are some I was listening to it at one point. I felt that man's voice was gone. Like it was like hour 20. I feel like that man, and somehow he brought it back. That man's voice was gone. If it's me, you gonna hear my stomach at some point. I ain't eating.
Nah, for real. Like the only other place I've seen this done in record time is on a television show when Melly Grant did it on Scandal. And I was like, oh, there's no way that this can be done in real life, at least not in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? But Cory Booker does the unthinkable.
And let's bring to light the record that he has broken. Because he has now successfully delivered the longest speech on the floor.
The longest filibuster.
Beat out Storm's previous speech of about a day, 24 hours, and I think it's like 17 minutes or something. But what was his speech about? I'll give you 3 guesses, and you're only going to eat one. That man got up there and filibustered for a day about racism. And not in defense of race, and not trying to stop racism and beat it down. No, in
that's what I'm over here trying to figure out what in the world what's it about.
Did a day filibuster about racism, and he was literally filibustering about what we saw happen the other day. He was literally doing a filibuster to make it so black voters couldn't elect black people, so that you wouldn't have somebody like Cory Booker today. He spent a day on that, and Cory Booker going to outlast that. Talking about American rights, like that, it is quite. It was quite the dynamic of all the people to beat out that record, or to now make that mark for him to be the direct opposition of what the original mark was. It's uncanny.
It's what do they say? It's just so poetic.
It is. But yes, shout out to Cory Booker, my light skinned brother.
No, seriously. From the Northeast, right?
Jersey.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought he was from Jersey.
Jersey.
Because I'm gonna say this: when Cory Booker originally ran back in that 2020 cycle, right? Yeah, he ran in the primaries.
Oh, the primaries. Yeah.
He ran in the primaries. And it was just so interesting to see how I was like, man, this man is akin to another Obama. You know what I'm saying? At the time period, I was, because we were all just trying to see like, oh, who's gonna be that next token black man to step into the national stage of politics. And of course, then he had some things to iron out about his figure, and he wasn't the party's vote and everything like that. But even then, I was like, this guy is interesting. He's now on my radar.
We're going to watch. We're going to see what happens with him. But speaking of Obama, look at you providing transitions without even knowing about it. We got to talk about this point, because another news topic being the whole third Trump term thing, which is ridiculous on its own merit. But the threat of what the other side is if they go forward with this is straight up hilarious. Have you heard it?
No.
Oh,
I'm so glad I've missed this in news cycle.
Oh, no. It's actually hilarious. They are now questioning whether they want Trump for a third term, not because of the whole third term issue, but because if you provide space for Trump to go for a third term, well, guess who's going to pop back up for him to go against again in the election against? None other than Barack Obama. The threat of Barack Obama. Because if Trump can go for a third term, then you know who else can go for a third term? The guy who they all hate.
George W. Bush.
No. Obama. The threat of Obama is having some question. Do we want that third term possibility? Because if you open that door, you have to open.
Now, Barack wouldn't want to do that, though. Let's be real. Barack wouldn't want to do that.
Which I get, and I don't blame him. But
the looming threat of a Trump. You're right. The looming threat of a Trump third term.
Listen here. I wouldn't want to do it either. But if the door, and we all know, wife, you don't want him to do it. But if the door is open and it turns out that you're the only nigga with an S on his chest who can save the day,
You gotta
we're gonna need
put
you to
on
come in
your
and
super
save
nigga powers
the day. There's gonna be a lot of issues with it.
and let freedom ring.
But at the end of the day, if that's what it takes to save the day,
Man, that man is gonna go
save the damn day.
He gonna go to MLK's grave and channel his spirit.
That would be quite that.
All the ancestors provide unto me.
I would need the popcorn for that whole election. Because can you imagine the shit show that would be a debate between Trump and Obama? The rhetoric between them two.
And this is the thing.
On all sides,
I feel like it's gonna be It's gonna be a ruthless debate.
It would be a ruthless campaign. Like I said, I would just need a bag of popcorn with me at the ready because it would feel like every moment
it'd be ruthless, bro.
It'd
be so good.
Like a straight up soap opera sitcom. Oh my God, they did what? Like, but we got a long way to go until even the possibility of that. So, there's not a whole lot of hurdles. Hopefully, we don't even get to that. But if we get to that point, yeah, I'm gonna need.
But let's think back though. Let's just like theoretically go down this pipeline of presidential elections being entertainment. What would you say fully was the first presidential election in your eyes that you felt like was more for the public's entertainment?
It's always been that elections are always about entertainment.
But some felt more cordial. You know what I'm saying?
Some people are better at hiding it than others.
That's true.
That's a bad question. Part of marketing and PR, part of it is how can I entertain or do the bait and switch? It's all the same stuff.
I will say that, well, I guess because this is truly my first time actually paying attention to the election too. I guess this is biased. I was going to say Barack and Mitt Romney because I feel like that was completely hilarious.
A real answer would be with the invention of the whole 24-hour news cycle in the 90s. But yada, yada, yada. That's a topic for another day. We're going to get into something that's a little bit more in the pocket, shall we say, before we get out of here. It's a sad thing, but it's going to lead to, I guess, some better conversation.
Oh, definitely.
See, R.I.P. We lost Val Kilmer this week. Sad story. Like Val Kilmer, early Val was pegged as like the next guy in Hollywood. He was supposed to be the next guy. It never really popped off for him. And they had it's a sad story, and he went on to glory this week. And so the young blood over here asked, where do you have Val ranked on your Batman's list? And it got me to thinking.
And I have my list full. Or I don't have list full.
Is this just movie Batmans? Or
this is just live action movie Batman.
The movie Batmans. Okay.
Hold up. So, I'm going to pull up the full list.
We have Adam West. Right? Because you had the original Batman movie. Adam West counts in this, correct? You have.
Let's go through this. Well, we're not going to count him. Let's start with Michael Keaton.
Well, no, you got to count Adam West, or are you just going to strictly relate him to TV?
I'm going to strictly relate him to TV.
Okay, so we're going to go with Michael Keaton, and you're going to go.
Val Kilmer is after Michael Keaton.
Then you go George Clooney.
Yep.
Christian Bale.
Yeah. Christian Bale.
Patterson. Affleck.
What is this?
Those are the only ones, right, at this point, right?
No. That's right. Ben Affleck.
And then Patterson is the latest. Okay, so number one, you're going Keaton. That's an easy one.
Number one is Keaton?
In terms of movie Batmans? Yeah.
But okay, let's say what defines a good Batman to you though?
It's not just Batman. It's the one half being Batman. It's the one half being Bruce Wayne.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to put that part in there.
There's so, but in the way you asked the question, you asked about the one, which generally means you're asking about the character as a whole.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
So, as a whole, which means the best Batman and the best Bruce Wayne combo, however you want to score it. Yeah. Number one is Michael Keaton. He is, especially when it comes to the movies, the prototype. Number two, I would throw in Christian Bale.
Okay. Close second.
It's a close second. Number three, surprisingly, I gotta go Affleck. I enjoyed Affleck's performance.
Okay, let me.
For what you had. Number four is where I put Val Kilmer. Number five is where I put Patterson, and then George Clooney is dead last at number six.
Why is it? Do you think you have Patterson so low because we haven't really seen him?
Yeah, he's got
be a great Bruce Wayne.
He's got the most potential to move. It's room to grow. Understanding that he's playing an early Batman, I get it. I get it. I'm gonna take a couple points away. We'll see how he grows. He's got the potential to move up, but now,
I also will say he's added in a different level of Batman that I haven't seen on live action movies as much.
Right,
and that's the detective side of Batman.
Right, but as a whole, right now, I haven't met number five, but he's got the greatest potential. Like he could easily get up to number three.
Most definitely.
Easy. Depending on how the second movie goes, we're going to see.
Nobody is topping. Well, I mean, not yet in this lifetime. Nobody is top Michael Keaton. Nobody is. Christian Bale, close second, though. Such a close second.
He did good work. Good work in expanding the character and a different take on the character. Because essentially what Clooney and Kilmer are doing is essentially Keating impressions in a it's the continuation of a version of a character versus their own interpretation of the character. Well, I still enjoy Kilmer's for what he did, which is why I have him above Patterson right now. But Patterson can jump him easy. But yeah, whereas Bale's was this is a completely different take on this character. Good direction.
So altogether, this is off of the top of your head. What is your favorite Batman live action movie?
I mean, The Dark Knight is just
okay. I'm just making sure. I oftentimes try not to be like there's a one correct answer type of. I'm not that kind of dude. But there's only one correct answer about Batman live action movies.
The original Batman is good. It's like 2 for what it is. But
I really love the original Batman. I think that is one of the most what Jack Nicholson was able to do playing that version of the Joker was just 10 out of 10. I'll put it like this. With that movie, they set baselines. It's
that first major incoming of comic books into real world. While Superman started the trend in it's like 79 and Batman is until 88. It's still or 80. Yeah, it's 88. 88. But it's a gap, but it's still like that initial on-screen representation, which are some of the most accurate in a way that we can say, especially for at the time, versions of the characters we've seen on screen that people just love and hit the mark, especially for it to be the first time. And we've seen how things can go wrong in comic book movies and stuff like that. And for them just to be even at this point, like still reviewed as the classics they are. But yeah, what The Dark Knight did is just, that's a special movie.
It's such a great movie.
And to be a comic
question, I don't know about maybe actually this. How do you feel about the Bane adaptation that they did in The Dark Knight Rises?
I ignore the fact that that's a trilogy sometimes.
You didn't like the movie that much?
That is a great 1-2 punch. You know that that picture that you be seeing of a horse in 3 sections.
Yeah.
And that it's that third portion which could be kind of wonky. Yeah, section 1 is good. Section 2 is freaking on fire. The detail is on point. Section 3 is some kindergartner drawn cartoon version, and it's just like, okay, we can.
They did not end the movie well.
It
made it worse because now this is still the last taste in your mouth of the trilogy.
They didn't land the plane. They launched a beautiful plane, and when it came time to land, it's like You land that.
I will say I did like not seeing like souped up Bane. You know what I'm saying? Like this Bane was naturally just a beast.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you want to be integral to the comics, Bane was a smaller guy who had to be souped up on said, stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, rest in peace, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, man.
Iceman in Top Gun. Ice.
Val Kilmer could have been a lot. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Ice. Anywho, it's Y and Z, a conversation between the generations. If you spent some time with us, we appreciate you. We thank you. We just chew the fat sometimes and try and keep it light because the world is on fire outside and I'm not trying to be burnt. We might find out how it feels to live through a depression. Anywho, my brother, stay safe out there. Stay prayed up. Stay in church with them 11-year-olds making you feel old. Peace out. Peace out. Go get some Ben Gay for them joints.
Bye, y'all. I'm going to go soak with some Dr. Teals.